Hey guys, welcome to Geared. We're going to do another Fusion 360 quick tip. Today we're going to talk about kind of an advanced way to split bodies. Most people just use the plane cut to just slice through a plane and separate the bodies. What we're going to do is actually create a separate body to use as a model that we're going to make a complex cut out of another body with. So let's take a look at a couple scenarios here. First one we're going to do is we're going to make basically a pipe join. Right now we've got this particular single body that is, we want to cut into two pipes, but we don't want to just cut it on this plane right here because we want to actually have this pipe go down into the body down here like a slide joint, like you could find on maybe an exhaust pipe or some plumbing pipe. So instead of doing this plane cut, we are going to cut this body all the way down to here, basically digging it out of the other body. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to create a second body to split the first body with. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this face, do E for extrude, and we're going to drag this all the way down here. Let's call it right there. But instead of cutting, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new body and hit OK. So at this point, it doesn't look like much has changed. If you look down in the middle, you can see the seam where that second body comes in. So let's go over here and expand our bodies. There's the new body we created. And turn that off, turn the old body on. That's nothing has changed on this body. We have this new body that perfectly matches the geometry of this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to say split body. For this body to split, we're going to choose the first body. In the splitting tool, we're going to choose the second body. And you notice it actually shows you what it's going to cut here. And we're going to hit OK. Now over here, you see we have three bodies. These two bodies match, excuse me. These two bodies here are identical. Now, this is a pretty simple demonstration, so we could have just used that second body to begin with, but if we were making a more complex geometry, we maybe wanted to take a chunk out of something, that would have been very useful. But regardless, we now can just turn off one of these bodies, and we have two separate bodies here. If I right click and move this, we have got a nice little joint that we can make there. So that's a pretty straightforward example. Real quick, real easy way to get more than just a plane cut on a body. Second example I'm going to show you is a little more complex, out of a much more basic shape. Not so much of a real world example, but what we're going to do here is we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to split this body similar to the way we did before, only we're going to add an extra feature, a registration mark in it. So when we say 3D print this or cut this or mill this, when it slides together, it's going to have a registration mark in there to actually help these pieces be assembled after we create them. So let's do what we did before. We're going to do an extrude. I'm going to bring this down, call it 50 millimeters. It's a 50 by 50 by 50 box with a little 25 by 25 nuggets shooting out of it there. We're going to make a 50 millimeter post. We're going to make another new body, hit OK. So like before, we have our initial body and this new body that we've created. But what we're going to do here is on the bottom of this, we are going to create a sketch, do a quick little rectangle. We're going to do a center rectangle. Just call it 5 by 5. And we're going to extrude this out 5 millimeters. So now we've got this extra little nugget in there. You go ahead and turn this body back on. when we do our split body, we're going to choose our body to split. Then we're going to select the other body to cut, or split, I should say, and hit OK. So now, when we take a look at these, not only do we split the body on that line that we created, we now have a registration mark for assembly. So if I move this up, when we go to print, mill, create, cut, whatever this, we can create it with this registration point in there. Not only did we cut the body, we added some features as well. So you can do this with some pretty creative geometry. So one of the things I was doing here was just using the existing features of the body to create a new body. You could create an entirely separate body with completely unique geometry and place that inside of another body to cut or split that body. The cutting and splitting tool at that point works just the same. But if you need to take a very complex bit of geometry out of another body, this is a great way to do it. So with that, thank you for watching. If you don't mind, I've gotten a few people actually liking these videos. Feel free to, down in the comments, make some comments on what you thought about them. And if you have a suggestion for a quick tip that you would like to see, put it down there in the comments. Thanks, guys.